CMPRadio.net. It's the station. CMPRadio.net, the voice of Chester.
CMPRadio.net. You already know it's your boy Uncle P. And yes, this is Neighborhood Conversations, man. You already know. I have the pleasure of sitting here with Miss Pat Worrell, candidate for mayor of the city of Chester. I know everybody's wondering, who is Pat Worrell? And for those that know who she is, right, tune in, share this live, come into the comments, say something, right, because I'm going to keep it real. I do not know who she is, right? But we're going to figure out who she is today, what she stands on, and why she feels as though she can be the next mayor of this great city of ours, right? It's CMPRadio.net. Share this live one time for the one time. How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm blessed. How are you?
I'm blessed.
Yes, we are.
And I want to say my name is Worrell.
Worrell.
W.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
See, there we go. Worrell. See?
That's all right.
She corrected me. Where'd I get Burrell from? I made the flyer. You would think I would know. That's my brain.
That's all right.
I apologize. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
You got to correct people when they mess up your name. I do it all the time. They call me Gene. I say, no, it's Jean-Pierre.
Okay.
Right. Let's go. So, Miss Worrell.
Yes.
Why? First of all, who is Miss Pat Worrell?
Pat Worrell is first a mother. I have 3 adult children.
Okay.
6 grandchildren. Wow. And that's my first priority. God is on top of them, though.
Yes.
I am a business owner. I am a business owner of not 1, not 2, but 3 businesses and a nonprofit.
Okay.
I am a real estate broker, been a broker for 20 years. And I love community work. I started out in community work when I was 12 years old. My mom was very active in the community. My aunt was a state representative in the state of Massachusetts. She served for almost 30 years.
Wow.
I worked on her first campaign. So I'm community oriented. I came to the city in Chester about 17 years ago. I love this city. When I first came to this city, I came up the ramp on Edgemont Avenue.
Okay.
And I looked in awe. And my first question was, where's the administration? What are they doing? As I drove around the city and I was touring the city of my first day here. But before that, I had already decided to purchase a home here.
Right.
Not knowing anything about the city, because I was new to the state of Pennsylvania.
Right.
I transitioned here from employment. And I rode around the city and it looked like my home, back home. I came from the projects, where in Massachusetts, the projects means you're living in brick buildings,
Right.
not homes like I saw here.
Right.
So growing up, we didn't see black people owning homes. We've seen them cattled into brick buildings
Right, in the project.
in the project. So if you had a home, then you were really doing good.
Right.
But that's where I came from. And didn't have the educational opportunities that a lot of folks had. But my mom worked in early education. So even though we did not have, higher education opportunities, my mom always pressed to learn something.
To learn something.
Yeah. I was raised by 3 generations, my mom, my grandmother, and my great-grandmother.
Wow.
I learned my spiritual growth and who God was from my great-grandma.
Okay.
From my grandmother, I learned how to take care of home and make sure home was taken care of. And my mom was a fighter.
Right.
She fought in the community. She believed in making sure that we had our opportunities and no one's going to take that from us.
Right.
I grew up during the segregation days. Even though we were up north, there was still a lot of segregation.
Yes, it was.
The school busing, we had issues up there. There's a place called East Boston. There's Boston, and then there's East Boston. You didn't cross the street.
No, you didn't.
So I had some humble beginnings, but I never forgot what my mom told me, is to get knowledge and understanding and education in any means necessary.
Absolutely.
And that's what I did. I self-taught. I got education as wherever I can get it, and grew up, and now business owner of 3 businesses, a nonprofit, 45 years experience in business administration, and accounting. And I've seen a lot. I lived in Washington, D.C. for 13 years, raised my children there. And I've seen a lot, experienced a lot. So when I came here, all that came flooding back. All that from my youth all the way up. And like I said, my first question here, where's the administration?
Where's the administration?
Why would they allow this community and all the potentials of it to be so in disarray? I was really disappointed to see a community like this with all its potential in a state as it was.
You mentioned potential. You mentioned seeing a community not striving for more. The question I have for you is, where have you been, right? Because when we're talking about a mayoral seat, that's typically someone who's been out in the community, around in the community.
Yes.
I mentioned to you earlier that I have seen your name, you feel me, on election. You were running for state senator.
Yes.
Against Dominic Pileggi. That was shout out to Dominic Pileggi and the Pileggi family, right? But you weren't really in the city, so now the mayoral seat comes up, and you said, I'm gonna throw my hat in this ring. Why?
Like I said, my history and my background, my education, my knowledge, I have 45 years experience in business administration, accounting, financial management, budgetary principles, human resources. I've been an employer, I've been an employee, I've been union, I've been non-union, I've been salaried, and I've been hourly. So I have experience in every level of government. I can go into the city hall now, go into any department in the city hall, have a conversation with the workers and understand what they're saying.
What they're saying.
Yes, right. I can go into the finance department. I worked in finance in the corporate world. I worked in finance within my own businesses, building them from the ground up. So I understand financials, financial management. I can go into human resources, and I can look at a job description. I can build this job description. I know payroll. I've done it on both ends. I can go into the solicitor's office, and I can look at a contract and say, no, this contract is not good, because my whole 20-year history in real estate, that's what I do. I went to Harvard Extension School for contract law, government and political history, and paralegal. So I can go into the solicitor's office. I can read through a contract. I say these terms are not good.
Right.
So I can go everywhere because I have the background knowledge and the years of experience. So, and it wouldn't take me long to adjust into that job and what it entails and what it needs now.
The city needs a lot.
City needs an absolute lot.
We and everybody gets mad at me because, you know, I don't blame Thad for what we've gone through. I say this was a city that was set up to fail.
It was, as all black and brown communities are.
The way it was set up to fail, people not taking anything serious.
Correct.
And putting too much weight on the other side, it tips the balances and things just go off kilter. I think right now we need people that are willing to work with the receiver to find out the best way to move forward for our city. I said this 5 years ago. I didn't want Chester to become just Edgemont Avenue, straight down to the first courthouse in America.
Right.
That's a tourist attraction.
Right.
That's what it can become.
Yeah. Yes.
No more Chester, just the courthouse. And then the other counties or other municipals move in and take up the land. Everybody says, okay. I said Swarthmore can come in and take 24th Street. They don't want that. Why don't they want that? That's more land. That's more taxpayers. Most of those people on 24th Street, up 25th, 24th Street, they're taxpayers. They're working people, right? Mm-hmm. Parkside can move into to behind the park. So this is what can happen in disincorporation.
Absolutely.
And I just want people to understand how important it is for us to get someone that wants to work with the receiver, not against the receiver, not fighting against the receiver. So what do you see? Like, what will be your first mission as mayor of the city to do when you get in there?
We need economic permanence. That's what we need. We're under bankruptcy. We're under receivership, and we've been under oversight for over 28 years. Right. So the vision has to be to get us to economic permanence. We have to look at the end goal and work our way towards it. Right. We first have to work with the receiver because they're the specialists. They're the ones that know what they're doing.
Absolutely.
They have no personal interest in the city, but to do their job.
We will hope they don't.
Well, that's why you need someone with knowledge and understanding to work.
Absolutely.
And that business and management skills, know how to work.
Right.
Because if this is a corporate job, we would have to put all our resume out on the table. We would have to put our experience, our education, what makes you think you can do this job. If this was corporate, you would have to come with all that.
Absolutely.
But yes, we have to work with the receiver. But we still have to do with the best interests of the city.
Okay.
We just can't say yes to everything.
Right.
We just can't go along. We just got to make sure that the decisions that are made are to the best interests of the city. And in my 20 years of experience as a real estate broker, I represent buyers. I represent sellers. I represent their best interests. So there's a lot of facets, a lot of intricacies that need to go on. But you just can't learn this on the job. This is something that you have to come with. You have to come with that knowledge and years of experience to sit in a meeting or make decisions. You got to have that background and that business background, the administrative background, in order to know whether this is a good decision for the city or not a good decision, and negotiate. And that's one of my best skills I have, negotiating. Getting everyone to the table to make decisions that need to be made and move on to the next. Wow. Because we can't drag our feet. We're running out of time.
And we are. They said the end of this year, right? So let's try to figure out how to get that done. Have you ever worked for the city before?
I have been sitting on the Chester City Zoning Board for the last 10 years.
10 years?
10 years.
Why don't I know you?
Nobody comes to zoning.
I got to start going to the zoning meetings. So you're still on?
Yes, I'm still serving on the zoning board.
Wow.
I was chair for the last 10 years, but I'm still a member of the board.
Okay,
yes.
Absolutely. So I asked some people about you. You hear fairy tales out there. One was, you're running against Roots because you used to mess with him or something like that, his girlfriend or whatever, and you want him to lose, so you're running. Why are you running for mayor now? Out of all the years you've been around, like I want to know why. Like, what is pushing you to really run?
Okay, let's dispense some of what you just said.
Right.
I'm not running against anyone.
There it is.
I'm running for the city of Chester.
There it is.
So, they run their campaigns. They can do what they, need to do and show the city that they're capable of doing what needs to be done, the next step in these next 4 years. Because these next 4 years or 8 years is going to tell what the next generation of the city is going to look like.
Yes, it is.
So we can dispense some of the rumors. I don't pay attention to rumors, but I just want to know I am not running against anyone. I am running for the city of Chester. I am putting my experience, my knowledge, my education, my years of experience, 45 years experience on the table. Like I said, if this was a corporate job, you'd have to put it all on the table.
On the table.
And if you meet the description of what needs to be done, they're going to call you in for an interview.
Absolutely.
And that's why I'm glad I'm here.
Right.
You called me for an interview because you wanted to know.
I wanted to know. I got tired of hearing the rumors, and I was like,
I'm not interested in rumors. I'm not interested in a popularity contest. Right. I'm here putting my resume on the table to say that I am qualified to do this job and do what needs to be done in the next 4 years.
So right now, we've filed bankruptcy, but yes. I think City Council has fought that. Would you agree that that's the best thing for the city, fighting bankruptcy?
That is not the best interest in. Well, the fight is the eligibility. They're fighting the judge's decision or judge's order to say that the city is eligible for bankruptcy. What I would like to see and know why they're fighting the fact that the judge feels that we are eligible, but it's telling me the city feels, or those who agreed to or voted to fight this, they believe we are not eligible. In order to go in bankruptcy, you have no money to pay your bills. So if they believe that we have some money somewhere, then
where's the money?
So I do not agree with the filing against that. But I think we should give the city more explanation on why. I have not seen the order. I've looked and did not see the filing. I would like to see the details of that. Like that, I'm contract ordinary, or I like to look at contracts and legal documents. Like I said, I went to Harvard, paralegal studies. So I know court orders and I know what is in them. And I would like to see that. I have not seen that, but I would like to see, because there's always two sides to a story. Yep. The receiver says in the courts agree that we are eligible, but the city is saying we are not eligible. Where's the disconnect? Why are we not eligible, but why do you say we are?
So what are some of the things that you think you can bring to the mayoral seat?
And I can reiterate, I have 45 years. I started in high school. Right. I worked, but we had a work-study program where I went to school in the morning and worked in the afternoon. My first job was in accounting. Wow. And that's where my accounting history started. So, like I said, when my mom taught me to gravitate towards education and get as much education where you can, because it wasn't offered to us, I gravitated toward that accounting. So I furthered my education in financial management, budgetary principles, and I did that through my entire corporate experience. I worked for large companies like Iron Mountain, which is a very large company. It's an information management company. I did their collections. I started with their collections. And then I was promoted to an account analyst. And during the financial crisis, I was on the phone almost every day with the 5 big banks trying to get the money that they owe us, so negotiating payoffs. So I've done the work. I work for Historical Black College and Bowie State University.
Shout out to Bowie.
As human resources and health benefits coordinator. I worked in the healthcare industry. I worked for a municipality in Boston, Massachusetts.
Wow.
Which would be like a Villanova here.
Right.
So, and I worked, I'm telling my age now, but I worked as a administrator and worked with the commercial contracts for the city. Wow. And I budgeted tens of millions of dollars on general ledger paper. This is when it wasn't computerized yet.
Right.
So, I mean, we've had tasks in making sure the budgets of tens of millions of dollars on general ledger paper until computers came, we were able to get computers, and I transitioned that general ledger accounting system to a computer system. So I've done the work, and the work that needs to be done here in the city. I would never apply for a job that I'm not qualified for.
I mean, you keep on saying that.
Yes.
Right? And I think that's the thing, right? Because, like I said, I don't know how many people really know you or know of you, but I know, not the uninformed voter, but just the person that goes to the poll to vote might not know who you are. So when they see your name, they're like, who is she?
Yes. And
that's what this interview is about. That's what all these interviews are about. Like, let's talk to the people that are running and get to know them.
Right,
just
exactly.
Talk. You have 45 years of experience. Your resume is stellar, epic. You sell real estate. Why not run before? 4 years ago or 8 years ago. Why not run then? Why run now?
Well, like I said, I built 3 businesses. So that kept me really busy.
Right.
And I have a family.
Okay.
I have grandchildren.
Right.
And my businesses kept me very, very busy. And I ran, this is not my first race. I ran 3 other races besides. I ran for district judge. I was asked to run for district judge.
Right.
I was asked to run for state senate because no one else will or would.
Right.
And I ran for county council.
Okay.
So I've been in the politics, so doing that time after time since the day I got here, because that was in 2010.
Okay.
So the day I got here in 2007, I joined in with local organizations to help with community development and street lighting, lobbying for a grocery store, and helping creating programs to clean our streets. So I was very much involved from the day I got here. I'm not the one to shout and toot my horn and try to get popular. I want to do the work. My focus is getting the work done.
Doing the work.
Getting to what the needs are, and to get the work done. I'm all about getting the work done. Like I said, then I built my 3 businesses here. I opened my real estate office. I started my commercial cleaning company. And I had a lounge down at the Avenue of the States. And then I have a nonprofit. So I was very, very busy building 3 businesses at a time.
Okay.
And politics, I just stepped back from politics for a while. And but I always kept conscious of what was going on in the city. And COVID kind of
it wipes a lot of people's memories. COVID.
Yes.
What were you doing pre-COVID and post-COVID, right?
Yeah. I mean, COVID came, it was I did not think it was going to be as serious as it was. But as it got serious, when my favorite department store, Boscoff, closed, I knew it was serious.
It was serious, right?
I knew it was very serious. So I stepped back for a while.
Right.
And then we went into receivership.
Can you describe yourself with 3 words?
Passionate, visionary, And loyal.
Loyal, passionate, and a visionary. I feel like most people will sit here and say that you are a passionate visionary with goals that are not attainable. Do you really believe that you can win this race?
With educated voters, I worked as a judge of elections for several years.
Right.
And I learned voters. When I worked with my aunt's campaign, and I watched her campaign every 2 years, she campaigned as if it was her first time.
Every time.
And she taught me never to take a voter for granted.
Right.
And she taught me when you're talking to voters or when you're talking to people and asking them to hire you for the job and to give them your trust and ask them to trust you, then you've got to be loyal. You've got to be open. You've got to be honest.
Yes, you do.
And you have to give the people and help them understand and guide them through the processes in order to make our communities great. So she taught me a lot, and I learned from her. And getting into this race was a long decision. I didn't just pop into this race. I didn't just pop up. I don't do things that way. I think long and hard. I talked to my family for quite a long time before I decided to do this, because this is public work.
Yes, it is.
And everything you do and say is public.
Criticism.
So I definitely wanted to get the endorsement and the support of my family.
Right.
So I talked to them for quite some time. And until I felt I had their full support and full endorsement, then I would take the next step to think myself, do I want to get into this race? I was back and forth, weighing the pros and the cons. Decisions needed to be made, and this is all during COVID, and a lot of people made a lot of different life choices during that time because of circumstances or what have you. But it was a time of self-reflecting and thinking about what you wanted to do with your life, your families, and so forth. But I thought long and hard about it and decided that as we were going into receivership and reading about what was going on, and I had some conversations with the receiver many times on where we were going and giving the history of my background and where I came, and the Black and brown communities that just have such a hard way and not given the opportunities that we should, and the racism and discrimination that I grew up in, all that just came flooding back. And I said, I just cannot walk away knowing that I have the skills, the knowledge to do this job. And that's what I'm considering a job. It's not like I said, it's not a popularity contest. It's not all about that. The city needs someone to do this job. And it's a short-term job. It's a temporary job, a short-term job, but a lot needs to be done. And if I have these skills, I cannot sit back and not do anything. So I felt compelled that to offer my experience, my years of experience to the city. And you asked me if I believe I'll win. It's up to the people.
It's up to the people.
It's up to the people on if they want to, some say vote popularity or vote. I
think that's the thing that has haunted Chester for years, right? The popularity vote. Right?
Yes.
If you know a person, if a person dances good, if a person has ever helped you change your tire, that doesn't mean they can do a job.
Exactly.
Right? And you want people that can do the job and do it with accountability.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If they mess up, if they make a mistake, they're coming right out and saying, listen,
Absolutely.
I messed that up. Right?
Right.
You're saying, Because you're a public servant.
Exactly.
Right? The public doesn't serve you, you serve the public. So
Exactly.
if the public has a problem with what you're doing, if you're not capable of speaking to them in a way that they understand and they accept, I think that's where everything just goes left. Right? But sitting here talking to you and talking to you before, I don't see that with you.
I believe that.
I don't see a politician sitting here right now. So
No, I don't like that word politician. I'm either a legislator or a public servant, because I believe that if you're putting yourself up to be that public servant, you're doing the business of the people, and the people have a right to know what you're doing with their business. Right. Just like you hire an attorney or someone else to take care of your business, they're obligated to you to tell you what's going on with your business. So I believe in full access. I retired from my brokerage so I can make sure that I have the time to spend. I'm not leaving real estate because that's my life, but I've retired from the responsibility and the day-to-day operations of my brokerage in order to give the city the attention that it needs, because every day counts. It's only a 4-year job. It's a temporary job. It's only for 4 years, and things must be done. Decisions need to be made, and they have to be made that are in the best interest of the city, because every decision that is made and is not made right, it's another delay.
Yes, it is.
It's another step forward to disincorporation, and that is not where anyone from the state level on down wants to go.
No, at all. Ms. Carla Beaver has a question. When have you been out to meet the residents?
I have been out since day one.
Okay.
This is a city of 36,000 people.
Probably more than that. I think it's more than that.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, last census, hopefully
Like
it is
the census.
more. Yeah.
Because everybody
Yeah.
don't fill out
No,
the census,
no,
right?
absolutely
so
not.
I say whatever the census get, add another 36, so we have at least 72,000 people in this community.
Yes, I've been out in the community walking around. I'll be out later on this afternoon. We've had meet and greets.
Where will you be at this afternoon?
I'm going to be walking the streets. I'm going to be in the community.
Okay.
I like to choose every day. I like to choose the community I haven't been in before. Okay. But walking the streets, but you get stopped. You get, talk to some people. Some people, I'll give my time. If somebody has a question, I'm going to give my time until they're done with me. Right. I'm not going to just say, okay, thank you, I'm on my way, because people need answers. Mm-hmm. They want to be heard.
They do.
And they want their concerns to be heard, and I'm here to listen.
Absolutely. Did you ever experience failure, and if so, how did you overcome it?
I love failure because failure helps me get to the next step. Failure is my teacher. Failure is a lesson.
Yes, it is.
And if you don't accept failure well, you'll never move on.
Never.
You'll never get to where you go. I always think of anything I endeavor to do, I think of the end of that goal, just like I see Chester. I see Chester as a vibrant community. I see Chester with more homeowners than renters, because right now we're at 60% renters. Right. I see renters turning into homeowners. I see commerce through 291 commerce from state line to state line. Right. I envision these. I already see these in my mind and in my head, and then I see, okay, where we are, how we're going to get there. We need to get there, and everybody needs to be at the table to make it happen. Every person in this community needs to get there. Every business owner needs to get there. Every entrepreneur needs to help us get there. And we've got to have that person with vision, because the Bible says where there is no vision, the people perish.
Are there any missed opportunities that you wish you've leveraged throughout your life?
The opportunity for, I wish I had gotten to real estate much earlier in my life than I did, because I would have had more opportunities to invest in my community and in other communities. I wish I had gotten in earlier, but I decided to have a family first and business later.
Awesome. What key activities would you recommend to other aspiring leaders to invest their time in?
People.
People. Invest your time in the people.
Invest your time in the people. Because you're not a good leader unless you're a listening leader. A leader is someone that creates less chaos. That's your job, is to create as much. Chaos is going to happen.
It's going to happen.
It's, nothing's always going to go right. Period. That's life. But your job is to create less of that. And when those times an issue comes up in a community, you have to be the leader of that. You have to explain. Just like if I have to make a decision that's very controversial, because that's going to come up. There's going to be times where there's going to be, it's going to be a split, or it's going to be a majority, or whatever it may be. But it's going to be hard decisions that need to be made. But if you have to make that hard decision, you must explain. You must explain why that decision needs to be made.
Yes.
And once you make that decision, and have to make that decision, and people understand that decision, then they'll support you in that decision. This is a hard decision that we have to make right now, because Chester's going to have to make a lot of hard decisions within the next 4 years to get us towards out of bankruptcy first, because it's a process, and we must start the process. Right now, that process is in delay. That's why we're running out of time. That's why the threat, or whatever you want to call it, of disincorporation is real. That is the final and next step that will happen if there's more delay. So we've got to make these hard decisions. And the next 4 years is going to tell where Chester is going to be for our next generation.
Wow. Disincorporation is serious.
It's very serious.
And the receiver has put forth his plans, right, to file if we continue to delay bankruptcy. Ms. Pat Worrell, I want to thank you for stopping through.
I thank you for having me.
Is there anything else you want to tell to the people? Into that camera right there, to the people. Talk to them about you running for mayor of the city of Chester and why they should vote for you.
I'm asking for your vote because I know I have the experience, the knowledge, the understanding to do the job. But day one, I will be ready to work with the receiver with cooperation, look at the decisions that need to be made and make the right decision for the city. My first priority is economic permanence. Like I said, we've got to get out of this financial mess. And we have to make sure we have no more financial waste. There's a lot of finances. Any woman knows that who makes a budget on a daily basis in their home, every penny counts. So we have to make sure that we understand what we need to do financially for the city. My next is economic development. We've seen blight in this city for years. In my real estate experience over 20 years, and commercial and residential, we need to create home ownership. Home ownership creates pride of home ownership, pride of home, pride of community. Absolutely. People will keep their communities clean. We need to create, and it's creating a shortage of generational wealth when we don't have home ownership. So we need to create more home ownership. And creating that, and creating home ownership, and creating people that take pride in their home, will take pride in their community. And then businesses will want to come. So we need to do that. In environmental injustice, environmental racism, that is another major issue here in our city that we can take care of. It's not a hard job.
It's not.
Zoning laws, racial zoning laws have been created to place these types of industries in our black and brown communities. Mayor and council has authority over the zoning laws. We can make ordinances to make sure that these industries do not come. And those are here by right, we can amend those. So we have that power. We also have the power of creating a host contract. We can make the terms of that contract. I've seen that host contract that we have with Covanter, and it is not in the best interest of the city at all. I would revise that contract when it comes up due again to make sure that they are in compliance with the EPA, because for what I have read, they have been cited several times, and they're now up for another permit. So there's things that we can do, and we have the power to do it, but we got to have the right people in place that know and understand these things.
People that
So those are my priorities. And
campaign contributions. I want you to do right by my city.
I vowed not to take any contributions from anybody that wants a promise for me.
So you haven't.
No, I have not.
So you're hold on. So you're funding your own campaign?
I'm funding my own campaign. Family and friends are helping me fund my campaign, and an endorsement from the real estate industry. So I haven't taken any corporations. I haven't taken anyone I haven't taken that vow. I will not take anybody. Because people come to me, I want to give you this because, no.
But they want something.
Yeah, no, not going to happen. Not going to happen. I'll fund this whole thing myself if I have to.
Wow.
But.
Has it been expensive?
Not really.
Not really.
Not really. I mean, like, I've been blessed. I reach out to my family and friends, and even some people that I haven't contact, but we've had relationships in the past, and I've contacted them, and they freely supported this campaign, and I'm appreciative of that, because I vowed I will not make any campaign promises to anyone.
Anyone.
No one.
No one.
No, because my first priority, my first priority is to the people of this city.
The people.
So I'm not going to face the people of this city and then turn around and make backroom contracts and backroom deals. That's not going to happen.
I appreciate that. She's not a politician. What do you consider yourself?
No.
A legislator?
A legislator.
Yes.
Servant of the people.
A public servant. That's what politics is. It's all about serving the people. And if you're not serving the people, who are you serving? CMPRadio.net. You already know this is Uncle P, Neighborhood Conversations, man. A little bit later on, we have Chef Lamont. He'll be here talking about him running for mayor as well. Listen, man, it's important that we get out and vote. It's important that we let our voices be heard. If anybody, I don't have to be the only person sitting in this seat. If you want to come up here and ask anybody any questions, set it up. You have the room. It's CMPRadio.net. It's your boy, Uncle P. Peace.